Thank you to Veyer for sponsoring this video. Hey pen people, I have a problem and I'm willing to bet that you have a similar problem, if not exactly the same. The degree of the problem varies from person to person, but a lot of us these days have an unhealthy relationship with our smartphones. I am way too distracted by my smartphone. I'm fighting back, I'm looking for ways to unplug, and today I want to show you 5 analog tools that are helping me put distance between me and my smartphone and helping me live a less distracted life. And at the very end, I'm going to share a 6th kind of honorable mention that might be a little bit surprising, so stick around for that. A quick note as we get started, I'm going to show you the tools that I use basically every day. And if you like the look of them, I'll have affiliate links in the description that you can check out. But at the end of the day, the make and the model of these tools isn't really that important. So feel free to customize my recommendations and find something that's going to work for you. So numbers 1 and 2 are actually a pair. You don't really get very far with just one of them. And if you've watched any of my other videos, this won't surprise you at all. But numbers 1 and 2 are a pen and a pocket notebook. Carrying a pocket notebook is a topic that has been exhaustively covered by a lot of YouTubers, a lot of whom make big claims about how carrying a pen and paper with you can completely change your life. I'll be honest, I've been a little bit skeptical. For starters, these YouTubers are always talking about having a notebook with you for when inspiration strikes, but I carry a notebook everywhere and inspiration does not often strike. So as much as I love carrying a pen and a notebook with me, they don't always get used as much as I would like, but that's starting to change. I'll pull it out in quiet moments and just jot something down, like anything, you know, nothing crazy, or I'll do a little doodle or something. I'll write about something I saw, something I read, something I heard. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, it just has to be something. And I've learned that the more you use your pocket notebook and pen that you carry around with you, the more natural it becomes and the more likely you are to reach for it and actually have ideas worth writing down. Start small and it will become more natural with time. And the real beauty of this is something that I really haven't heard anyone else talk about. And that is that even when you're not writing in your notebook, it can provide a really nice alternative to losing yourself in your smartphone if you've been writing in it previously. Because instead of scrolling your phone mindlessly, you can flip through old entries in your journal. And it can actually be really fun and interesting. And those ideas that you had written down that you then go back to review, those ideas can then inspire new ideas. And it just becomes this snowball effect that can be really powerful. Over time, pen and paper have almost completely replaced the Notes app on my phone. And just in general, I feel like I am less distracted when I am mindful of this and reaching for this rather than my phone. As far as pens go, I'm kind of a fountain pen guy and I have been for nearly a decade, and that's one of the main things this channel is about. In my opinion, there's nothing better than a fountain pen for self-expression. They're just so much fun. That said, ballpoints, rollerballs, gel pens, all of that is good stuff too, and I have been throwing some of those into the mix and I've really enjoyed it. And I've even really been enjoying good old-fashioned wooden pencils. They're a lot of fun. So again, there's not one specific pen or one specific notebook that you need to use, but I will put some suggestions that I like in the description. Okay, let's move on to number 3. And this tool that is replacing my smartphone is a little bit unusual in some respects, in others not so much, but it is my headlamp. So a lot of people, like in the EDC community or whatever, carry a little flashlight around with them and they use that. And I guess I go to my headlamp. It's pretty small, it's pretty powerful, and it's pretty versatile. More so, I think, than just something you hold in your hand all the time. So how does a flashlight, or in this case a headlamp, help replace my smartphone? Well, of course, most smartphones these days, if not all smartphones, have a flashlight built into them, and they're very convenient, very handy. But the problem I find with my phone flashlight is that when I go to turn on that flashlight, I see my notifications. I am tempted to unlock my phone and explore and get lost. And then I'm suddenly like, why am I looking at my phone? Oh yeah, it's because I needed a flashlight like 10 minutes ago. So even though it is nice having a flashlight on my smartphone, I reach for this when I can. And it's a really nice alternative. Having a headlamp in my bag when I'm hiking and stuff has been a lifesaver, but I use this way more around the house even than I do on adventures. One thing that's nice about having a headlamp is it makes a really nice reading light when you are kicked back and you don't want to have anything in your hand except your book. This is really nice to have. My particular headlamp is the Petzl Tikka, and I really, really like it. It's pretty cool. It's really nice, but also pretty simple, and I like that balance. It has 3 brightness settings, and it has a red light, and you can, and it flashes. And what I like about this is you don't have to cycle through all the options every single time you turn it on. It's a little bit smart. It's smart enough to kind of remember what you used last time. So that's really nice. No cycling through and having this red light flashing at you and all this kind of stuff. It gives you what you want pretty easily. I also really like that it has this ring around the light here that is glow in the dark. And so when you use the flashlight, it charges that glow in the dark, and it's really bright. And so it always makes it easy to find in the dark, and it looks cool, and yeah, it's just fun. Again, this is not the only option out there. There are a ton of options. A lot of them are going to be cheaper than this one. If you like the look of this one, I can recommend it. But again, there's a lot of stuff out there to explore. All right, let's move on to the fourth tool that is replacing my smartphone, and that is my watch. To some people, it might seem a little bit weird to wear an analog watch in the 21st century of smartwatches. And you've got a clock on your phone in your pocket all the time anyway, so this feels a little bit redundant, right? Well, kind of like the flashlight, I find that checking the time on my phone just makes me check my notifications, and it really tempts me to unlock my phone and start perusing my apps and seeing what's going on. And then I just get lost when all I wanted to know was the time. So a few years ago, I started wearing this watch, and the band has long since disintegrated. I've kept it around. This is my only digital watch, but I keep it around for the stopwatch, which is kind of handy to track my time on reading or exercise or work or whatever. I track a lot of things, but yeah, this is handy. I wear this now. This is a Casio Forester, pretty budget watch. It's done the job though. It's a nice watch, and it's been really reliable. I don't love the Velcro strap it came with, but oh well. And the backlight on this thing is amazing. It's not really a backlight actually. There's a little LED light on the side, so when you light it up, it really lights up. So if I don't have my phone or my headlamp with me, in a pinch, this can kind of be a little flashlight. Not for like outdoor camping kind of stuff, but just if I'm in the dark bedroom and I need to find something real quick, I can just pop that on and I can find it. It's really helpful. But if you want to get something a little bit nicer as far as watches go, that's where the sponsor of this video comes in. Bayer makes all kinds of watches. When they reached out to me and asked if they could send me something, I spend a lot of time looking at their website, just scrolling through all the options. There is a lot to choose from. And what they sent me is this. So this is the C5 Tactical Solar Field Watch, and you can get it with a bunch of different band styles. I chose this kind of soft, flexible waffle textured material. It's really nice. I like it a lot. And just the difference between these two watches is kind of laughable. This thing is just so plasticky, and this is so dense and substantial, and just feels meaty, and it's fun to wear because it's heavy, but heavy in a good way, I guess. It just feels quality, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, so this is a solar watch, so it recharges itself. You're never really gonna have to replace anything. I mean, it's just gonna go and go and go. It doesn't have any kind of a backlight or anything, kind of like the Casio watch, but it is very glow in the dark. It glows very nicely, and that is nice. So it's very readable at night, even though there's no light to turn on. Another cool thing is that Bayer focuses on watches for high adventure kind of stuff. This watch is rated for 100 meters down underwater, which is pretty cool. I think my Casio is too, but I've taken it swimming and it gets condensation under it, and I can tell it's, I don't know, I'm a little dubious about whether or not this is actually that water resistant. This one, I believe it, and they actually have worked in some really cool features. So like this little knob here, you can unscrew this until it pops out, and that's when you can adjust the time and everything. But when you're done adjusting the time, you push it in and screw it down to completely seal the watch so that nothing can get in. So it's a really cool design. I like it a lot. And Bayer in general does a lot of dive watches and different things. That's kind of their target audience, and so I trust that this is going to be a very durable, very water resistant watch, which is pretty cool. In general, Bayer just seems like a really cool company. One of my favorite things about them is just their commitment to sustainability and conservation. It just seems like it's part of their company, and I think that's really cool. Okay, it's time for number 5, but before we do that, if you would like to support my YouTube channel, the best thing you can do is just to hit the like button. That's it. All right, so tool number 5 is the last physical traditional analog tool I'll be talking about. And then, like I said, I have an honorable mention for number 6. All right, so tool number 5 that is helping me replace my smartphone is just physical books. And this is an interesting one because I'm not just talking about physical books replacing an e-reader or audiobooks or something like that. That's a different topic. I don't read books on my phone, but I still find them to be an effective tool to help me fight distraction, because a physical book gives me something to hold on to instead of carrying my smartphone around. And in quiet moments, instead of scrolling my phone, I can just crack open that book. And I've learned in all the craziness of life to try to crack open a book, even if you just have a minute or two. You don't have to sit down for a whole evening to read. You can just take a couple of minutes. So it's really nice just having a book within arm's reach so that you can reach for that instead of your games or your social media or whatever. Some people might just say that a book is a different kind of distraction, but I beg to differ. If you're looking for good books, you can find things that will teach you, that will help you be a better human, and it doesn't just have to be self-help nonfiction stuff. Good fiction, good poetry, all that stuff can be really good for you. Good for your brain, good for your soul, just in general, just a really good experience. These are a few of the books I've finished recently. If you want some book recommendations, I will put a few in the description below. Okay, it's time for number 6. The honorable mention, the bonus tool, which really isn't a tool at all. And that's actually what I love about it. I think that there is kind of this logical fallacy that we always have to have a thing to be happy, to be productive, to accomplish what we want to. And that's not always the case. Life is a lot more than just our stuff, digital or analog. So the 6th tool I want to offer to you is not something you can buy at all. It's just you, your body, your senses. They are the ultimate tool for experiencing life in the moment. Because for me, being in the moment is what being analog is all about. It's all about removing yourself from the things that are taking away from your present moment. And pens, paper, all that stuff, it's great. But the best tools you have to be present are your eyes, your ears, your breath. So the next time you're filling your car up with gas or you're in line at the store, instead of pulling out your phone or opening a book or writing something down in a notebook, just try looking around. Just allow yourself to experience where you are, even if where you are isn't that interesting. You're alive, you're in the moment, and that's all you've got. That's interesting enough, I think. And if we pay more attention to it, I think the more interesting it becomes. So in addition to those 5 physical analog tools, I also really just like trying to remember to be present in the moment. The other best thing you can do to support my YouTube channel is just to watch another video. I think you might really like this one, but if not, YouTube seems to think you might really like this video. Thanks for watching.